Yes, people, welcome to another Flex's View, man. The day after the game, I get into my bag, I get into my thoughts, and I let you guys know what I'm feeling. But today, it's less about yesterday. I'm not going to lie. My Flex's View today was going to be about something different until this situation with Erik ten Hag came out today, according to the Sunday Mirror. And that's Simon Mullock. And he's basically claiming that Ten Hag could walk away at the end of the season. Quit threat. Could Erik ten Hag really walk away from Man United? It's a big claim. It's a big claim. Some on social media have claimed that Simon Mullock is kind of Ten Hag or SEG, who are the people who represent Ten Hag. Some people on social media have claimed that the Mirror and Simon Mullock are the go-to people, that kind of earpiece, the mouthpiece for Ten Hag. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't understand it to be like that. I'm just saying what some people have claimed. But it's a big claim. And you know what? The actual headline of this article, which I'll take you through in a minute, the actual headline of this article is basically providing an escape route from Erik ten Hag to Ajax. And apparently Ajax are looking for a new manager, but they want Pep Lijnders from Liverpool, who's the assistant manager there, a lifeline for Erik ten Hag to return back to the club. So let's get into what they're saying. Now, at the start of this, they're saying Erik ten Hag offered Man United escape route, but faces competition from Pep Lijnders for the job. Ajax are actively searching for a new manager following a dreadful season and are considering both Man United boss Erik ten Hag and Liverpool assistant Pep Lijnders. It goes on to say Ajax have drawn up a short list of managerial targets, including them both. The Dutch club's new chief exec says he's been tasked with finding a replacement for the standing Jan van Schip. He used to play for Ajax for many years, actually. He's an Ajax legend. And basically, Lijnders is regarded as the most realistic option, given that he will leave Liverpool when Jurgen Klopp leaves. But this is where it gets interesting. Sources close to Ajax have confirmed that the sporting director has not ruled out offering Ten Hag an escape route out of Old Trafford. And with Ajax currently fifth, and they're not prepared to pay compensation during their search for a new boss. Now, this is the bit that just in the middle of the article, you get this, because this ain't even the headline of the article, which I think it should be, but it's more about Ajax providing sort of a way out for Erik. But then he says this. He says that the new United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to make a decision on Ten Hag's future at the end of the season, etc., etc. This is the bit. And the Dutchman may even walk away from the final year of his contract in Manchester if he is not given assurances by the club, not about his future, about the power he will be given. I repeat, he says the Dutchman may even walk away from the final year of his contract if he's not given assurances about the power in which he will be given. So what Simon Mullock's basically saying is that if Ten Hag don't get the right vibes and the right power that he signed up to do under John Murtough et al. Before, then according to this article, he's willing to walk away. Obviously, if we finish the season on a whimper, if we don't do well, or get Champions League football, which I don't think we will, it seems like the decision will be made for Ten Hag. It goes on to say that in the Mirror. So the question now we have to discuss, given this, is could Ten Hag walk away? Would Ten Hag walk away? And I think, or actually, I forgot to say this. The narrative that's now forming is some people on social media saying, I can see this in terms of a mutual end, a mutual agreement to terminate the contract or to walk away from the final year, where it's, he preserves some of his status in terms of he didn't get sacked. United don't have to go down that route of saying Erik ten Hag has been, relieved of his duties. The narrative could be, club going in a new direction, INEOS coming in. It was mutually agreed that both parties would go their separate ways. But that would be contradictory of basically how Ten Hag's been in the press, is saying we're aligned. I'm excited for the future. I can see where the club want to go. They have good ideas, INEOS, etc., etc. And look, listen, we know from what Sir Jim's been saying and what the noises have been coming out in terms of in the last week or so about them sounding out managers, them drawing up lists, etc. No formal approaches have been made to any manager. That's, as it stands, is still the truth according to the media. But there are things bubbling, man. And now my view on it is that could I see Ten Hag leaving at the end of the season? Yes, I could. I've said that many a times before. I do feel as if I could see INEOS making that decision to part ways with Ten Hag. I can see them doing that. Could I see a situation whereby Eric Ten Hag could say, actually, well, when I signed under, John Murtough and Richard Arnold, etc., it was under these stipulations. I would have power and control over these things, and this is what I need to be able to do my job at United. But INEOS don't think that. So then that could piss Ten Hag off and be like, well, you know what? It's probably best we part ways now. I could return back to Ajax, according to this report, reignite his career. And there's other teams out there who need managers, by the way. I'm not saying Bayern Munich will come in for Ten Hag. I'm not saying that, because obviously they're in for Xabi Alonso. But there's a manager merry-go-round this summer, is what I mean. There's opportunities out there. It's a manager's market. And I could also see a situation whereby he would say that. But at the same time, though, and again, it's like 50-50, because it's like, Ten Hag is the sort of man who seems quite driven. He seems like he wants to make it work, who seems like, he wants to fight, which is all good. I don't doubt his character. I don't doubt his endeavour and his sort of intention to do well. But I just think also there's, as a human and as someone looking at it sort of with what the situation really is, you've basically got a situation where he could either be pushed or he can jump. Do you know what I mean? And when I say that, that sounds ruthless, but it's either INEOS say, you know what, Eric, we're going to change you. We're going to change you. Or he's looking at it from afar, and his advisor saying, listen, they're probably going to want to go in a new direction. You may as well just say, you know what, actually, I want to leave. I want to go on to pastures new. We all align it where it just works because there's a new set of ideas. There's a new sets of decision makers, new sets of minds and ideas that maybe don't align with yours, and use that as a chance to preserve yourself. Self-preservation. Ten Hag could jump into a self-preservation. Now, this does depend. Some of it depends on how much Ten Hag wants to dig his heels in, but essentially, the decision isn't Ten Hag's. And that's why he's kind of in no man's land when it comes to this. This decision is up to INEOS, and all of the things that we've heard up until now have been about INEOS basically making their minds up either way by now. The decision's already been made. That's what it feels like. That's what we've been told. That's what the reports have been saying. It's not concrete, but I have a feeling that they've made their mind up already, whether they're going to keep him or they're going to let him stay. I think they've come to that conclusion and that decision already. They still just need more time because all the pieces of the puzzle aren't in place yet to be able to go and make these big decisions. So for me, I think Ten Hag's aware of that. And that's why when I see this news today of like basically he would rather jump rather than be pushed, essentially, and take a little bit of the narrative back, because it's, that would be good PR for Eric in terms of if he was to leave Man United by not being sacked and leave with mutual consent, mutual agreement, should I say. That sounds a lot better than Man United finished bloody 8th, didn't get any European football, no cups. And Man United have to put out a statement saying we have sacked Eric Ten Hag. Now, these are all things. Look, we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But I don't think he's going to be there next season, man. I don't. I think things are bubbling up now. Again, I know this is what I was going to talk about before this news came out today. The fan base is so toxic's the wrong word, but it's so divided on opinion right now. And Owen said it yesterday, and the Muppeteers said it as well, and I've been thinking it for a while. It's like you're basically not allowed to have one version of the opinion, and the truth of the matter is that just take a chill pill and sit back, because INEOS are going to make a decision whether we like it or not, and have made a decision whether we might like it or not on the manager, and we have to trust that the new guys coming in will make the best decision for the football club. And if that's to get rid of the manager and people don't like it, you can't sit and cry about it. You've got to get on with it. And vice versa. If people want Ten Hag to leave and they decide to stick by him and to back him and to stick with it, then it all goes away. But right now, this whole we just can't agree on anything. If you say that, you're happy because we won 2-0, you're the problem. Your standards are on the floor. You're a shit fan. You're not a real fan. How could you be happy with that crap? If you say something like what I said yesterday, well, that was a tough watch. I'm happy we won, but we're lucky Everton are a poor team. Oh, you're the problem. Look at the injuries we've got. This, that, and the other. You're never happy. What's wrong with this fan base? So there's no middle ground. So I'm not consumed in all of that. I don't take it personally if people think, my opinion is not what they think, and you shouldn't take it personally if someone and come across or whatever he's talking on social media or in your group chats, if somebody disagrees with you. I'm just saying I'm become aware that that's what it is now. That's what this situation is now. That's where we're at in terms of there's so many people who really want Erik ten Hag to stay and so many people who would probably like a change. It's like they're butting heads, and when things start to butt heads, that's when you get the pushback, and that's when you get social media just becomes, and even the comments, you guys, it's so divided. But factually, this is a report that's been put out today. How much of it is true? Well, do you think Ten Hag will walk away? That's my question to you. I've given you my situation. I think I can see a situation where he would walk away because he's going to get pushed anyway. That's my verdict on it. Do you see a situation where Erik ten Hag says, you know what? I think they're going to change me anyway. I'm going to jump ship. Or you're like, no, he absolutely wants to succeed here. He doesn't care that there's a chance to go back to Ajax or somewhere else. He wants to see this through. But if you do think that, I would just remind you that it's also not Ten Hag's decision. So it's kind of like a two-part question. Ten Hag himself, do you think he'd want to stay and sort it out, or would he take the other option? And two, could you see him walking away? Because the third point is that it doesn't even matter what Erik ten Hag thinks, whether he wants to stay or leave. The decision is not his, and that's where he's in a bad situation, because it's the new guy's decision. It's INEOS' decision. So yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Will Ten Hag walk away? Could he quit? Interesting. We'll wait and see how this plays out. Take care, guys. See you on the full view later on. Peace.